Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 16 of the Global Gamers Invitational. We are looking at a Terran versus Terran matchup today between Pacifist and StaLife, and we are playing on Metalopolis. Before I like to go any further, I just wanted to give a big shout out to our sponsors, which are iFixit, SEVs for the real world, Esports United, The Handsome Nerd, iCCupTV, which is what you are watching, and TeamLiquid.net. Alright guys, so it is a Terran vs. Terran on Metalopolis. So who is going to vie for domination on this space platform between the grime and the mud and the metal, because this is Metalopolis. So let's take a look at what these players are doing, what we might be expecting from them. So in a TVT, what you typically see a lot is you'll see Viking spotting for siege tanks, which can be a very common strategy on a map like Steppes of War, but since this is a little bit bigger of a map, we might see some drops or airplay, or maybe even some fast expansions or Hellion Harass. On bigger maps in TVT, you usually see a little bit more varied gameplay. So we'll see what these guys are going to go for right now. At this point in the match, it seems a little bit too early to guess exactly what they're going to be going, because it's pretty much just going to be a mirror build for at least the first 5 minutes of the match, and both SEVs are now scouting across the map, so they will soon discover that the players are actually cross-spawn from each other. So they are probably going to go some kind of macro or tech build, so let's see how this happens. And these SEVs are actually about to run into each other, and they will soon be able to infer that they are probably cross-spawn from each other, because unless these SEVs came out really early, there's no way that they would have met up at the exact same time, and this guy's trying to chase that guy. Alright, so Pacifist and StaLife are both breaking off right now. They're going to be ensuring where the other players are, and they are going to start their build from that. And like I said, it's pretty much going to be a mirror build right now. They're both getting their orbital command. They're both getting a Marine. This Marine's going to be posting up over here, and that Marine is going to be doing pretty much the same thing. So let's see if maybe one of the SCVs might get caught, and will one of the players get a little bit of an early advantage. I think this SCV is going to be able to get out of here. That Marine was a little bit ambitious. He probably should have waited and tried to get him into a better spot. And this guy, whoa, that Marine was like dancing around with his gun right there. He was able to get that SCV down actually. So it looks like Pacifist a little bit ahead right now. It always sucks to lose your your scouting harvester rather, your scouting SCV, you know what I mean, because early on in the game, all the SCVs matter as much as possible. So we do see a factory being built right now, and a factory also for Pacifists. So might we see a 1-1-1 build, or is one player going to go mech? Let's see what's going to happen here. And an SCV doing a little dance right here, and this SCV is clearly not scouting because he knows where Pacifist is. Might he be constructing something here? And I don't know right now. There's nothing happening there yet. And this SCV is also kind of scouting around. And we see a starport right here. And oh my god, we see a starport being built right here as well. So both players really are mirroring each other right now. So this starport actually in a much better position, because it's just a hop skipping away into this base right here. But right here, this starport has all of this room it has to traverse in order to get over here, and a well-placed missile turret will eke out a lot of damage on which I'm assuming are going to be Banshees coming in. And what was kind of interesting to note is that this Marine actually scouted this area. So StaLife was actually anticipating a mirror play by Pacifist, and he actually assumed that Pacifist would be building at the same spot that he would relative to each other's base, but that did not happen. So it looks like right now StaLife doesn't have much of an idea of what Pacifist is going. I don't think any player really has much of an idea of what's happening right now. They do see factory in the barracks. They might just be able to infer that there is air coming for both players. So we see that Cloak is coming out right now. This Banshee is being produced. This one might be coming out a little bit sooner. Yeah, and there's no Cloak for Pacifist. I think the variation of the build comes in is that there's a siege tank here, and there's a Hellion for StaLife. So he actually was able to save up some more gas and get that cloak early. So that might definitely play in his favor. And an engineering bay coming up. So Pacifist's a little bit worried that there might be some air coming in. So I think both players are pretty much anticipating that the player is going air, because with the scan, noticing that there is only a barracks and a factory, there's got to be some rogue starport somewhere else. So both players with that engineering bay. Let's see who's going to be able to play better defense against these Banshees. The first Banshee coming in right now, going into this base. How many kills is it going to be able to get? Really, it is pretty uncontested right now. There are not a lot of Marines for Pacifist. There's only 8 Marines right now, and he might even be able to pick off a few with some excellent micro. So one shot getting down, 1 Marine going down as well, maybe a second one, 2 Marines down. Right now this Banshee has 6 kills. In the meantime, this Banshee is coming in right here, and it is going to be getting a couple of kills as well. Let's see if who's going to be able to equalize or maybe even come out on top. Cloak should be done soon for StaLife. I think it already is. Yes, so Cloak is down, and these Marines are in grave trouble. There is no scan. No, there is one scan for Pacifist. He wasn't able to get it fast enough. He lost a bunch of Marines right there. He was probably too focused on this base right now. StaLife might be able to get this Banshee down. The Banshee explodes right there. So StaLife very much so ahead right now, even killing the SCV, making the missile turret, a second SCV going down as well, and a third SCV going down, and that missile turret was done as well. I don't think he canceled that in time. So this Banshee right now has 16 kills and just doing tons of damage. And that missile turret actually was in range to spot the Banshee, but not in range to shoot it. So the detection actually goes further than the missiles can shoot. So Pacifist coming in with Cloak a little bit later, but he has 4 kills on this Banshee right now, getting lots of kills on these Marines, and I think he's going to be able to mop up the rest of them as well. So StaLife actually in a tricky position. He does have 1 missile turret up. He has 1 here, and I'm not sure if that was canceled either, but both players right now are pretty much equalizing on this exchange. Pacifist is just doing a great job right now, getting evening up the game right now with this Banshee. He has 10 kills. I believe the other one had somewhere around 6 or 9, just below 10 kills, and he's getting even more right now. This Banshee pretty much uncontested, and I think it's even going to be able to fly away back home. So great move. StaLife coming in again, but there is a Viking right now. So how is StaLife going to be able to deal with this? He does have the Cloak, and he is still in range of that missile turret. So StaLife going to be forced to retreat right now, and I like the addition of the Viking and even a Raven coming out so that he will not have any more trouble with Banshee play. So this Banshee's going to have to retreat, and now that Viking is just going to be too much of a problem. And more barracks is coming out, so Pacifist actually going to be sticking to more of a ground force. And StaLife does have this command center. Right now he is just using it for double saturation. He has not decided to move it out yet. I'm not sure why. Maybe he is afraid that he doesn't have enough static defense to take care of some more Banshee play, in which case he should be throwing down some missile turrets right now and trying to defend this side. And the Banshee coming in, but I don't think he's going to be able to do any more harass. He is retreating. Banshee realized that it's kind of a dangerous, nearly suicidal move for him to go for any more play. And another Raven coming in for StaLife. So both players right now doing very similar builds. Siege mode is being upgraded for these tanks right now, but really StaLife doesn't have a lot. He has a lot of minerals invested in this empty expansion right now. He hasn't had enough time to go in, move it down, D it up, and start to reap the benefits for that expansion. Instead, Pacifist has been able to invest a lot more of his minerals into his army, and he's getting a good composition of air detection and some ground forces right now. He has 3 tanks, but he does not have siege mode. So if StaLife is going to be able to play D well enough against Pacifist's offense, then he might be able to secure this base. He's coming in right now. He's definitely going to need to place down a couple of bunkers, and he definitely needs some more units. He has 1 siege tank and 1 marauder coming out, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. StaLife just getting his 2nd barracks. Looking at the units lost, he is a little bit behind. He has lost a couple more 100 resources, actually 300 more resources. So I wouldn't expect there to be such a big difference in army composition, but that is what's going to happen. And it looks like Pacifist is actually moving out right now, coming with some SCVs, and StaLife knows that this is going to be, well, what to expect now. And 2 Banshees actually left from that harass attack, so auto turret going down right now, and 1 Banshee could have been killed, and there's only a couple Marines. That bunker is not going to finish in time. Here's the point defense drone, eating up a lot of fire right there. The siege mode is not coming in time. I don't think that StaLife is going to be able to take this game. Pacifist right now is just mopping up this front line. This expansion is toast. 1 Viking attacking the rest of this army. I don't really think there's much that StaLife can do right now. look at the resources lost. There's just such a huge difference there. A siege tank barely coming out, a marauder coming out, and there is no way that StaLife can get here unless he has like 500 battle cruisers stacked away behind his base, but that is definitely not happening. So one siege tank coming here, doing his measly little best to try and defend against this position, but there are still two Banshees, so Pacifist doing an excellent job keeping those Banshees alive and then using them to have immense mobility on the battlefield, just taking away those siege tanks, not even having siege mode upgraded. He didn't need it because he had those Banshees to maneuver around StaLife's own defenses, and even building an engineering bay in his base because Pacifist is like, why not? I can do whatever I want. This is my base now. So yeah, StaLife is pretty much done. We are pretty much just waiting for the GG at the moment. One siege tank here is just like, oh god, my life sucks. Why did I sign up to be on the green team? So that is the game, everyone. This is game 1 of 3. So the first game goes to Pacifist. We saw that both players did pretty much a mirror composition on each other, but where the variation differed was that StaLife went for a fast macro expansion, which I don't really think was a bad idea. The only thing that really hurt him was that he didn't have enough static defense. He was preparing for it with the siege tanks, but he didn't have enough. He didn't have the bunker out in time. He didn't have missile turrets there to protect against air, against his siege tanks. So that's what really hurt him. He didn't have enough static D to secure that position, which is what he needed to do if he was going to macro up the way he did. Alright guys, thank you so much. My name is Maze, and if you enjoyed this commentary, please subscribe to iCCupTV as well as my channel, which will be posted in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.